Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm just dropping in to say spoiler warning if you haven't seen the previous episodes, because today we don't really have any announcements and the chapter starts right where we left off, so with that out of the way, let's begin. But regarding today's treatment, I need to talk with you, Director Parvis. Oh? The treatment today has given Ifrit a lot of pain and distress. I think this level of pain is abnormally high. It is inappropriate.
I think that the treatment itself has been successful. The momentary pain she has to endure now is all for the sake of her recovery.
I've said it before. Reducing the patient's suffering is also part of the treatment, and if she loses control of her Originium arts, it would be a danger to our personnel and equipment. This treatment plan needs to be modified and improved.
Naturally, I understand your concerns, but painkillers would be ineffective for this treatment. We can only do our best. As for the concerns about safety, the structural section has already addressed it. The lab has been made to be fire retardant. Director Saria, you don't have to worry. After all, this is the structural section's own affairs.
That's good then. I hope that something like this won't happen again. Otherwise, the defense section will have to reevaluate the safety of this project.
You've worked hard today, Director Saria. You should go get some rest.
Saria looks at Silence and nods before walking away, leaving Silence looking on concerned when she turns to Parvis. Professor, let's go back. There's some treatment data that needs your review. Professor?
Sorry. I was just thinking about the advice Director Saria gave. Let's go back.
Alright. We then cut to the title page where we can see Ifrit casting her fire arts and chasing Lomi around while Silence and Albert are seen with a shocked look on their faces. We can see the energetic Ifrit is full of life and enjoying her antics when Silence steps in and scolds her. Poor Lomi was being comforted by Joyce and Albert in the background when Saria steps in. Ifrit immediately runs up to her and gives her a big hug before Saria pulls out a bag of candy and gives her a piece. Now, the next couple of pages do show a flashback and the current scene that was just unfolding, so I just wanted to explain that the top half will be showing us when Saria and Mulces are together and the bottom half being Rhine Labs. So, how was it? The publicized investor list is fake. Just as expected. Let's try the leads on my side. Wow, Saria is so strong! Saria is the shield of Rhine Lab after all. That's awesome! I also want to be as strong as Saria. Alright, let's start the treatment. Okay. Are you sure this name list is real? Of course it's real, basically. What do you mean? At least, it's real legally speaking. This is the first 3 scones. Huh? It's an idiom in Yan! If you want to be full, the first 3 scones must be eaten too. I still have work to do. I wish you good luck. Carter's Restaurant wishes you a happy life. Researcher Joyce? Joyce, what happened to you? Your head. I'm fine. The coat was just twisted around. A big shot investor living in such a shabby place?
Who are you calling shabby?
Are you Jennifer Shelley?
She's our nanny. What's the matter? She hasn't come here for the past few days. If you guys know her.
You said that she's your... what?
We can then see Saria giving Ifrit a piece of candy before we shift our focus to just Saria and Mulces.
To conclude, the boss of Hayden Pharmaceuticals, Hayden Ramped, is now just a charred corpse inside Hayden Lab 1.
The names in the investor list are just people with jobs like nannies or mechanics. They are obviously just scapegoats for somebody. And every single person on this list has recently died due to various accidents. The assassins must be real professionals. They didn't leave a single clue.
To be frank, we've reached a dead end. And Ifrit herself only knows that she was trapped inside that lab for a long time, and that she saw a lot of illegal experiments. She doesn't know much else.
Yeah, there isn't any more valuable information we can get from... How did you know? When did you meet Ifrit?
Visiting a patient is a very normal thing to do. I made sure to hide myself away from Dr. Silence and the others. No one from the structural section saw me. Aw, don't show such a scary face. I had a good time talking with Ifrit. She even calls me Moo Moo.
Anyway, we still need to search for other clues.
Yeah. I actually do have some ideas.
What?
It's just my guess based on a little evidence. I won't talk about it for now. We should wait for the tapes to be fixed, see if we can gain anything from it. Alright. We worked all night yesterday. Let's go back and rest.
I still need to return to Rhine Lab first.
Huh? Look at the dark circles under your eyes. You must not have slept well in days. Don't think you're actually made of diamonds. You should go get some sleep.
No. I promised Silence that I'll be together with Ifrit for her treatment.
Didn't you say there isn't any more valuable information that you can get from Ifrit? Why are you still going there?
You should go back and get some rest first.
Huh? Hey, wait! I'm still not in the car! Give me a ride!
We now return our focus back to Rhine Lab, where Saria and Ifrit can be seen reading a book while Silence and Parvis are discussing something in the foreground.
But Professor, Ifrit is already recovering at our expected rate. Why do we still need to increase the dosage this time?
Silence. Don't forget about our end goal. Our goal is to cure oropathy. The patient is certainly doing better right now. But what about in the future? If we just maintain the current state, she might never be able to leave her sickbed.
But the treatment has finally gotten to a point where it's not too painful for her. If we increase the dosage, Ifrit will again...
Suddenly, Parvis gestures towards the window and points out an exhausted Saria.
Look how tired Director Saria is. Rhine Lab has countless other projects that are more important than ours waiting for her to handle. Don't you also wish that Ifrit can recover as soon as possible? Speaking of which, I understand that you asked Director Saria to come visit Ifrit because you want the treatment to go smoothly. But right now, Ifrit can already cooperate with us for the treatment. We don't need to bother Director Saria and make her come here every time like this. Right?
Yes. Everything then focuses on Saria, and as she falls asleep, we cut to a flashback where we can see little Saria looking on at a family enjoying themselves, before presumably her dad gets her attention, when suddenly, Saria shoots straight up in her seat with a disturbed look on her face, but she notices the blanket on her and turns to Ifrit. Did you give me your blanket? Careful not to catch a cold.
It's alright, I don't feel cold.
Thank you. Do you still feel painful during the treatment lately?
It's much better than before. I can endure it.
Suddenly, Parvis and Silence walk in.
Director Saria.
Saria. Silence. Director Parvis. Is the treatment about to start?
Yes. I saw you fall asleep. Have you been too tired from work lately?
It's no big deal. I'll just sleep when I get back.
Saria, for Ifrit's treatment this time.
Sorry, I need to take this call. Hello? What? Alright, I'll be there as soon as possible.
Saria, do you have work to do?
Yes, it's something I have to deal with as soon as possible.
Professor, should we delay the treatment?
If Director Saria has urgent matters to attend to, then you should go. Don't worry about the treatment. We'll be here to handle it.
I'll leave it to everyone then. Ifrit, I'm sorry I can't be with you together this time. Be a good girl during the treatment. I'll be here next time.
No problem. I'll be able to endure the pain.
Right. Here's today's candy.
Ifrit glows up and has a big smile on her face as she eats the candy.
Ifrit then waves off to Saria, and as soon as the door shuts...
Alright, Silence. Let's get started. Don't forget about what I said. You'll do just fine.
Yes.
Suddenly, one of the medics from the group Saria scolded walks in with restraints and begins to attach them to one side of the bed.
I don't want it. What's the meaning of this?
Researcher Silence, this is a safety precaution. You know about the dosage amount this time. Without Director Saria, who would guarantee the safety of the patient?
Silence? We then cut back to Saria, who is walking into a room where Mjolnir could be seen sitting in front of a monitor. What did you see? Sorry for making you come here in such a short notice, but this is something you must see as soon as possible. Mjolnir clicks a button and starts the tape back over. At first it's static again, when suddenly we can hear everything clear up a bit.
Subject has lost consciousness. Hurry, wake her up. We went overboard. We're already being targeted by them. We must do it, otherwise they won't let us go that easily.
What are they saying? Remember what I said this morning about some guesses I had? It looks like I might have been correct. I'll need to think of a way to confirm it, but you should continue watching first.
No. Increase the dosage. Why did she go unconscious again? Seems like something's wrong.
The timestamp on the screen matches with the time when Hayden Lab 1 exploded. We cut back to the treatment room where Parvis is asking Joyce to grab him a cup of coffee while Silence is watching Ifrit, who is doing everything in her power to keep her composure. It's alright. It'll be alright. I promise, Saria. I can endure this. I can endure this. I can endure this. I can... I'm sorry, Ifrit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Silence lowers her head and can't help but close her eyes. Ifrit is then seen throwing herself forward against the restraints as her screaming intensifies, while Parvis continues to watch with his demeanor unchanged. Out of nowhere, Ifrit begins to emit flames from herself uncontrollably, though this time it's different. The temperature is so intense that the various lab equipment began to melt in the facility. Silence is struggling to watch this continue, and she tries to grab hold of Parvis and stop the procedure, but he looks on in awe before simply stating, "Wow. Professor! Professor, Ifrit won't be able to take it any longer!"
Just a little bit more.
Suddenly we cut to Saria running through the hall when she sees Joyce. Joyce, where is Director Parvis? The director is in the lab conducting Ifrit's treatment. Bring me in. I must see him immediately. The two of them then make their way to the lab, but as they get there, everyone turns away from the scene of Ifrit's flames lashing out in every direction to meet the leering eyes of Saria. Saria!
Director Saria, have you finished dealing with your matter? I must say, you must be really...
Stop the injection immediately. Saria then makes her way over to the two of them, but just before anything happens, Miss Saria? Joyce. Sorry, I was just thinking about something. Let's go to the medical department. How is Dahlia doing? Right now, a detailed test report should be available soon. Alright, I understand. Saria and Telosis then make their way to the medical department when, to Saria's surprise, Silence was also waiting there. I thought only Dr. Telosis is on duty tonight. Dr. Silence wishes to be the first to get the test results. She has been waiting here for it. What are you here for? I've come to understand Dahlia's situation. Her erypathy is severe. There's a risk that she may lose control of her Originium arts. We can't keep our guard down. What if she loses control? Do you plan to deal with Dahlia like how you dealt with Ifrit? Silence! Something's wrong with Dahlia! Her nose is bleeding! I can't wake her up! The three of them immediately rush out of the room, but as they do, the results finish printing, and we can see that Dahlia's erypathy assessment is very severe. the likelihood of her surviving past a week is less than 20%. And that's where this episode ends. Well, that one was short-lived to say the least. I know not much happened on this one, so I'll just use this second to bring up the watch-along again. I know I've previously touched up on it a couple times, and we are getting to it. I'm gonna make a full video explaining how to watch, that way it's not so, like, you know, just kind of in the air with my explanation. Anyways, thank you to everyone who does watch these, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care.